Basically, the first 30 is the first 30 minutes of a video game. So what I'll do is I'll play through the first 30 minutes. I'll talk about things like, my experience. It's all going to be raw. So it's going to be what I think about the graphics, the gameplay, the sound. And one of the things I wanted to point out while I was sitting here, I was actually eating breakfast. And before I got started, I was just listening to the opening score of this game. And just sitting here and eating and watching the title screen, which the title screen doesn't do much, but the music score is great. I haven't played the game, so the whole concept now is to, like I said, go through it, play it, and then at the end of the first 30 minutes, I'll talk a little bit about my overall experience on those certain topics. Like I said, the gameplay, the graphics, the fun factor, things like that, and then I'll continue playing the game. I won't stream it, I won't do any videos on it, but I will review it. And I'm kind of curious if my initial assessment of the game changes after completing the game. Be it that maybe I didn't like it at first, and then I ended up liking it, or I ended up liking it and then not liking it. So that's kind of the whole concept of doing these. I like the first 30 minutes because I feel like it gives a viewer, it gives someone who's interested in a specific game kind of a generalized thought or opinion of, hey, I may like this or I may not. And then once like I said, I play the full game, then I can review through that and kind of cover more in-depth details as to my whole experience. So anyway, with that said, let's kick this bad boy off. So I'm going to check out the settings real quick, make sure there's nothing that I need to really change. FOV, HDR, I don't have HDR. Do I want to save current settings? I can't. No. Just leave that alone because I don't have it hooked up to a 4K TV, so we're going to be doing this in 1080p. Okay, nothing really there I need to change, so. One of the things I wanted to find out about Remothered Tormented Fathers was what type of game it was. And it's a survival horror game. I know little about it. It's supposed to be, or considered, a spiritual successor to Clock Tower. So it was created by Storm Mind Games. Apparently very well received. In some cases, one of the scarier games that people have experienced or played. From what I am reading, 3 days prior to Remothered being released on console, the creator of Silent Hill and the Forbidden Siren series expressed his admiration for Remothered and hoped to collaborate with Chris Darrow. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so I guess I should be looking at this. Walk, run, crouch, flashlight. So I'll try to do my best to give you guys 30 minutes or 30-ish minutes of gameplay. So let's take a look.
Is it all true?
What have you heard already?
That illness. It thickened the bones. It accelerated the healing process and tissue regeneration. Is that all true?
Every word.
But if that's what it was doing, why call it an illness?
The Lepidopterans made a nest out of the human body where they could eat and multiply. An illness is what it is.
But then?
Where do you want me to start?
From the beginning.
I'm old, Mr. Manny. My memory is not one of my strong points.
Well, for example, why do they call you Madam Svenska?
A name is just a trace. It is our business card, our identifier. It presents us to the world. But does it tell our story or really describe who we are?
I swear I know 3 or 4 idiots with the same exact name.
Well, yes. But we are not made of that name. It is given to us. Other people choose it for us, whether it suits us or not. It doesn't tell us who we really are. That name will not give us any answers. It is only through growing old that we become the answer to the questions of our childhood. And living in Sweden the last 30 years has definitely inspired this affectionate moniker. And so, Madam Svenska, it is.
And yet you come back to Italy. Why?
Because I forgot. But I also forgot that I had promised to remember.
Tell me.
Please excuse me. Sometimes my memory needs to be jogged. There's always been a song that, as well as the name you refer to so much, has labeled my whole life, has given it a name, and it's from a name. If you can believe how bizarre and sometimes unbelievable my confused memories are to describe that all this began.
Interesting. I'm going to wait a second. There are a few things that I noticed.
Say goodbye, hearty flush from my eye. If you leave me, sure you miss me.
I don't know if I can skip this or not. I guess you can. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't skip anything important there.
Feels like it's gonna rain again.
Alright. I had read that she kind of looked like Agent Starling from Silence of the Lambs, and she kind of does. So one of the first things that I noticed was that I was getting some audio popping. I'm not sure if that was on my end, but the audio, it was alright. So the voice acting was good. The music was good from the start. However, I noticed it looked like there were some frame issues. The hell? Some frame issues going on during the cutscene. It was really kind of juddery, stuttery. So definitely not top notch. And some of the things I'm noticing here are graphically. The graphics are kind of eh. So not the best graphical game that I've seen. But I have a feeling we're not playing the game for the graphics. Now are we, boys? So let's see here. You cannot do that now. Well, I want you to do it now. Alright, so running. Let's take a look. I wonder what's down this way. It's not bad. Nope, can't go that way. She's like, nope, you cannot go this way. But I mean, you can look at the character models and you can really tell. I mean, you can look at the weeds, the bushes, stuff like that. There's little texture details. It's one of those things that's not there that are on present games. What's over here? Probably missing something. Can I pick anything up? No. Let's take a look and see if we can go down this way. Run to the light, Carol Ann. Run! Oh, hold on. We do have something down here. Dr. Richard Felton. You know, and as far as graphics are concerned, sometimes that's not really a big thing. It's more about gameplay, story, fun factor. All those things kind of combined.
Who is it?
Yes, hello. I'm Dr. Reed from the Santa Margarita Institute.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Felton is no longer a patient.
I know. This is why I'm here. Hello? Anyone?
I have to say, I do like the music in the game. The music definitely does a really good job setting the tone. I don't think I could go in there. It wasn't. I like the background noise with the dog. That's pretty cool. Let's go down this way. Come here, little doggy. Probably not a good idea. Damn noisy ass dog. Nope, cannot go that way. I also read that game has also been compared to Silent Hill as well. She sounds a bit out of breath. Sway those arms back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Sway those arms back and forth. I'm not exactly sure what that humming is. Wow, she's really trying to catch her breath. Been working her out. Is this scares? Okay, we were at a stop. You can breathe. Is there anything in here? No. What the hell is that noise? It's really strange. What is this up here at the top right? The stranger? Some ominous noises that are going on. What is that? You know, I've had games start out really weak before, and then they just shock the shit out of you. Sounds like it's coming from over here. No? Let's go back to this poster. It's like cars or something. I do love background noise. I can hear crickets. Oh, nope. I was gonna say, damn it, we can go this way now. No, we cannot. So, I'll probably have to look at the controls in order to figure this out. But we need to go open the van. And there's nothing on that side. Alright, so what are we missing? Oh. Well, duh. Alright, at least we searched the area. Good to know. Alright, so reach the residence. So that's completed. Get inside the mansion and meet Dr. Felton. Before we do that, let's take a look around. Or not. I mean, her footstep seems to be on point too, like just the noise of the footsteps. Is there anything in the flower garden? Oh, that looks like there's a long way around that way too. There she goes again with her deep, heavy breathing. Very weird statue. Okay, so it looks like we have two ways to go. We can go back to the left and around the back. And I'm assuming going in the front's not going to work, but we'll go ahead and try it. There's a door. Hello?
The gate was open. Are you there? Hello? Is anyone there?
If they are, they don't want to answer. So we'll go around the other way. So I'm really curious how this game turns out as far as the psychological thriller aspect. Maybe we'll have some Twin Peaks moments. Got the ominous lawnmower. Gosh, she sounds like she's panicking. I feel like I'm in a Nightmare on Elm Street movie running. Sounds like she needs an inhaler. Got a bit of asthma, do we? There's a ladder. Can we not pick up the ladder? Nope. I mean, when you take a game like this and you compare it to a game like Resident Evil, which came out here really recently, within the last few months, you can definitely tell the difference in the graphics. Granted, you know, obviously two different studios. Gotta fire one up.
Yes?
Good evening. I
Miss
am...
Reed, you already told me at the intercom, and as I already told you, Mr. Felton is no longer a patient at the Santa Margarita
I know.
Institute.
I came here voluntarily, outside the Institute.
So what do you want?
I am personally re-examining your case. Causes, reagents. I strongly believe there are alternative ways and probably other experiments that are worth a try. I am fighting with the Institute to recognize there are other adequate remedies for your husband's
Oh,
pathology.
no, please. I'm just assisting him. I'm his nurse.
I didn't know.
It's okay. I suppose you want to talk to him.
Thank you.
I apologize for the darkness, but Mr. Felton's sight has been damaged and immensely compromised because of the disease. Anyway, I am Gloria. Oh, and please, refrain from smoking inside. Mr. Felton hates the smell of smoke.
Sorry.
And you notice that there are two other cigarette butts there. Interesting. So, kind of makes me wonder who else was smoking. Maybe that's the psychological part. So far, intriguing. Like I said, not the best graphics, not the best frame rate. Music's good. Voice acting is so-so. I think for a budget title, so far it's not too bad. We've only just scratched the surface, if of that.
Please, this way.
All right. The color palette looks interesting, so let's see. Now,
Bad habit.
I mean,
Smoking?
Yes, such a shame. You should quit. You have no idea how bad this is for you. Not only for your health, but it's also very expensive. Money and time wasted. I have so much to do every day. I couldn't waste time with such a bad habit.
so you can't run at this point. I wanted to go back. Let's take a look and see if we can investigate that ashtray. Where is that ashtray? It's weird. It's almost like once you get inside the house, they put more detail. It's like they didn't put a whole lot of detail on the outside, but I mean, if you look at the rug and you look at the ceiling, the chandelier, the walls, the wallpaper, just the grit and grime, definitely reminds me of an old, just Silent Hill type game, especially with the walls. That's very cool. So maybe a lot of the game is focused inside of the house and some more detail was put here versus on the exterior. Never can judge a book by its cover, that's for sure. I mean, look at this. Definitely the walls have that Silent Hill feel to it. Why is the picture on the ground?
Do you assist Mr. Felton all day?
Oh no, from midday to 8 p.m. Then I go back home. I live near here. If needed, he can contact me with a pager, but that's not often. His wife takes care of him when I'm off.
Can't go in the door.
What can you tell me about her?
I met her just a couple of times. She's usually out or locked in her bedroom when I'm here. Let's say they don't seem to get along.
I didn't know.
But, you know, when she's home, she listens to the same music, the same song, over and over.
I like the subtle lighting. It kind of really presents a certain tone or a certain mood. It has this dark feel to it. Almost wish they were candles though. Or at least, what the hell's that noise? But if they were candles, I'd like to see that light flickering off the walls and something of that nature. I think would be really cool. Would add to that effect. Like those candles up here. Let's take a look real quick. Looks like they're candles. Oh, they are. I was gonna say, but they're not moving. But yet, no, they are. I don't see any smoke coming from the candles. Maybe they're electric candles. They're not flickering. That's too bad.
This way, please.
You can definitely tell the sound's been cranked up in the game too, which
Mr. Felton will be here in a
I
few
may
minutes.
adjust that. It's probably done for jump scare aspects. So I guess we're kind of free to move around and look for shit. Oh, what's this? Yeah, definitely a lot more detail was put into the house and the rooms. The hell? A freaking chopped off head looks like maybe by a fireplace. It's a strange picture to have. Can't get in there. It's definitely very dark on this side of the room. I almost feel like I'm in this, I don't know, a house of, that would be reminiscent of like, oh, yeah, I already did that. Like, in a way, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, there's just a lot of oddities. We can't get out. So, I guess we're supposed to sit down, maybe? No. Can we look out the window? Still hearing popping in the audio. Basically, the popping that I'm hearing kind of reminds me of a record, and then it has that popping, that clicking noise. And maybe that's the way the game is supposed to be, but it's kind of odd to me. I'm definitely missing something here. The hell is this? Oh, it's a camera reel. Strangely enough, not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do. It's the start button. Nothing there. Ah, what is this? Objectives. Get inside the mansion, and we already did that. Reach the residence. We already did. This is get inside the mansion. We already got inside the mansion. What are these? Patient medical test. Okay, so things that we've noticed. Events. Appearance. Probably in the gameplay here shortly and just talk about some of the things that I've already covered. We're getting close to that 30-minute mark. Strangely enough, I don't know what to do next. We can't leave. Has to be some type of clue or something. Like, I'm definitely missing something here. We keep going back to the picture. It's like, oh, let me slide over when you hit the button. No, can't look at that either. I figure we could open like the windows or something like that. You cannot. I was hoping for a little bit more interaction with the room. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and stop it here, and basically we can talk about just the experience so far. I feel like so far my experience would be if it's a budget title, I'm going to say it's probably worth it, but it's really early. That's the thing. I feel like, again, I've just kind of scratched the surface of the game, and there's going to be a lot more to come that's probably going to open this up to a broader, faster experience. I mean, graphically, it's not going to win any awards. The frame rates are not going to win any awards or anything like that. The color palette's different, and I think maybe it could have been what they were aiming for was the color palette. I'm not sure. It's kind of interesting watching her as you put the controller down and see, kind of just to see what she does. So she kind of moves around a little bit. The music in the game is definitely very well done. I did notice that, and I mentioned it a couple of times, that they did put a lot more detail into the house versus the exterior. So if you just boot up the game and you look at it, you go, oh God, this is trash. It's horrible. Just give a little bit of time, get inside of the mansion and start walking around. Definitely more clutter, more texture, more details are added to the environment. I would have liked to have seen, a little bit of like smoke coming from the candles or some flickering and the lighting. That would have been a nice touch, but nothing that's going to, detract me from moving forward and playing the game. I wish the objects were a little more interactive, but again, still early. Like I said, I'll continue playing. This is my initial opinion. Or does it get worse? And that's kind of one of the things that I want to look at. So hopefully you